Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Run It Back. I'm so mad.
You put lotion on?
I know, what just happened down there? Let's talk about life.
Feel my legs, I put lotion on.
Okay, and you know what? Let's bring in Lou, just to remind everybody that he is actually still here with us via Zoom from
Hey,
ATL.
God, the lighting's still good.
Hello, right over there?
You're glowing. You're
Save me, Lou.
I put lotion on the legs, Lou, and it's hot.
Blink twice
so
if you need help,
Now,
Boogie.
why did you start the show like that? What happened to you, dude?
I don't know.
Like,
He's still doing
Get it together. Let's be profesh. We got Sam AMICK. We love when Sam comes on the show. He'll be on in a little bit as well. A very weird, bizarre night in the league with some shocking results that we're going to talk about. But we're going to start with our good old buddy Shams. Shout out Shams. Reporting Trae Young and his agents, that's the key, working with the Hawks on a trade. His reps and the team have started collaborative talks over the last week. They're going to try to find a resolution. I think once you bring in the agents, Chandler, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like, all right, this is officially going to happen. Is it the best? Is this the route?
I think it is, and we've been saying this for years, and I feel like Trae Young has been on the trading block for so many years. And look, this is a dude who's an extremely rare talent, who's had a lot of success. You know, I'll never forget those series against the Knicks. He led this team to the Eastern Conference Finals one year. This guy averaged 29 points a game his second year. He's a multiple-time All-Star. He is a very, very good player. I do think his best basketball will come when he's not a number one option, when he surrounds himself with tough, defensive, hard-nosed guys, where he can be that 2 or 3 or 4 option any given night, while still having a night where his number's called and he can go and get 40, 50 points. And when you think about his career, I don't think he's ever had an all-star as a teammate. Like, besides maybe DeJounte Murray, one was like a replacement or something one year. He's always been the guy. He's always had a full plate. He's always had to manage every single offensive category on this team, and he's done a pretty good job at it. And then now, when you look at his value, I don't know how high his value is right now. It feels like they should have moved him.
Feels like it's not high.
Previous years.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is a little confusing to me, but there's no doubt in my mind that he can still play. He can still help a really good team. I just think he's best off if he's not that go-to guy, which is perfectly okay because any given night he can be.
Does he know that, though? Because isn't that part of the battle, that you have to know that?
I think as a guard like him who comes in and he's kind of been through, ups and downs, and he's kind of been dragged through the media, and he just now needs to be on a good situation, a good winning team. And I think he is more than capable. The dude can shoot the ball, he can pass, his vision is unbelievable. Like, he is a do-it-all guard that I think once he settles in and doesn't have to take these forced bad shots, these deep step back, early shot clock threes, in a system where it fits him, and he can go to a team where he can let other people eat and let the ball come to him, let the game come to him on the offensive end, I think he'll really, really thrive. So I hope he gets moved because I love me some Trae Young, and I think his best basketball is still ahead of him. I just don't know where that would be yet. The reports yesterday I don't love, but I think it's time. I think it's happening this year.
It's definitely time. I mean, you could see this situation kind of brewing before it happened. I don't think he was ever put in a position to excel. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think this is a really, really big talent in this league that's kind of being overlooked because of the situation that he's been in. The amount of gravity that he produces on offense is something that you just can't ignore. It goes to show you the type of production he can have in the game just with the effects that he puts on the game with having the ball in his hands. So you surround that with, like Chandler said, defensive talent, complementary pieces. This is for sure a talent that can work in this league. It's just about finding the right situation. And that's the glaring issue. There hasn't been the right situation as of yet. Obviously, his value is down right now, and that's more so because of the situation he's in. He hasn't really had a chance to, play winning basketball, so it's his fault by default. But like I said, I do think this is a talent that can still produce in this league. It's just about finding the right situation. What the right situation is the big question. I do think there are some spots. A team that comes to mind is in Orlando, who I think really needs a PG at this point. The young kid Black is playing well for them, but when you think about a talent like Trae Young with that group, you can't help but to think that he elevates that group to a higher level. So, this is a unique situation. I would like to see how this plays out, but I'm not closing the door on this talent yet. I do think he has better basketball ahead of him.
Yeah. What do you think, Lou? I mean, the idea that he'd be a great number 2 somewhere. A, do you agree with that? And B, you think he's going to understand that and embrace it?
Yeah, I think Trae is in a position now. It's time to play ball. Like, and first and foremost, I can appreciate the way that the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young and his representatives, how they announced this. Like, they didn't embarrass him. He didn't embarrass the organization. He's yet to make a statement. And I like the fact that they're collaborative on this effort to make sure he's happy, make sure the organization is happy, and that's deserved, and that's respect. I can appreciate that on both ends, the way that they're handling it. I do like Orlando as a fit. I didn't like some of the reports coming out as Washington probably being one of the teams that are a suitor for him possibly. I want to see him go somewhere and be able to be competitive and be able to compete. You know, number one option, number two option. You can make him whatever you want. He's making $100 million. He's gonna be happy wherever that he goes. But I agree with what Boogie said, and I agree with a lot of what Chandler said. I want him to go to a scenario where he can go be Trae Young, and you can see how good of a basketball player he is when you align him with other great basketball players. That's the nature of the beast right now. That's what this league is. All good players are playing next to really good players. Everybody's linked up with somebody. The league is stronger than it's ever been, and you need help to have an opportunity to win in this league. Trae Young hasn't been afforded that sort of same thing as you see a lot of his peers around the league. He, like we just said, DeJounte Murray was the lone all-star that he's played with. Everybody else that's had mega success in the league, they have a running mate. They have a guy that they can look to help them get them over the hump. Trae Young has had a lot of really good teammates, but he hasn't had the level of teammates as a lot of his peers and the guys that'll be in his class as a superstar, all-star level player. So for that, I want to see him go somewhere where he can compete on that level and have an opportunity to really make real splashes. Not just one conference finals, not just two, but a realistic opportunity to win a championship somewhere.
Also,
where that place is, that remains to be seen.
What's crazy is, before we go on to these potential destinations, is since 2018 when he came in the league, right?
That whole class.
26 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds on 43% and 35% from the field. That's been his career stats. So I don't care if you like him, hate him. He's a polarizing player. I get that, his personality. Those numbers don't lie. Those numbers are insane.
Who doesn't like him besides Knicks fans?
I'm just saying, so there's no doubt about his capability and his ability to play basketball. And yes, he's a smaller guard that's not the best defender, but that is the front office job. Like with the Luka conversation yesterday.
Don't start.
It is the front office job to tailor a team around a guy like this and put in guys and pieces that fit, understanding how good he can be on that side of the floor. So there are situations out there that I think make sense that I'm sure we'll talk about here coming up. But when you look at those numbers, those are Hall of Fame type career numbers, no doubt about it. Like,
but for some reason, it just doesn't fit here because they're better. Their record's better without him, which is an interesting math. Okay, so here's the thing. I was driving around yesterday when I heard this news break that he is now with his agents talking with the team, and then in the same sentence, because I'm thinking, oh, that means he's open. He's ready to like make a change. And then Mark Stein comes out with the Wizard stuff. And I'm like, that cannot be what Trae Young is envisioning for his future. So, I don't know, Chandler. Like, I don't know how much he's going to have the $49 million player option. Like, there's a lot going in here. CJ McCollum might get sort of pulled out, which is good for CJ, but
I'm confused on so many levels on this because this is such a lateral move. There's no way Trae Young wants to go to Washington. It's a worse situation than he's in now. It's a way worse franchise. Like, it makes no sense. And I don't know what the Hawks, I guess an expiring contract with CJ McCollum and maybe a pick or two, but it's just crazy that now you're getting one pick for Trae Young.
Well,
they should have traded him 2 years.
It seems like a lateral move. Now, when I look at Trae Young and I look at teams, I don't hate Orlando because you have a Jamal Mosley, tough defensive-minded coach where you have Franz Wagner and you have Paolo that can give it 1 and 2. More? I think he'd buy in. I think the effort would have to be there. Knowing Jamal Mosley, the effort would have to be there playing for that guy. Then you look at Dallas. I like him on Dallas, and Anthony Davis would probably be involved in that, but then everything's going to be built around Cooper Flagg, and they have other pieces where at least there's a potentially a good team there. Kyrie Irving's coming back. PJ Washington, they have good assets there. So, like, I like those two. Portland is kind of an interesting team to me where he can go and be kind of the guy, but not really with their young, talented roster coming up. They're tough. They're defending guys. We talked about Phoenix possibility with the Jalen Green swap.
These are much better options.
Jalen Green swap would be great.
There's some options here, and I just think when you start adding defensive-minded players around him and guys that can take the offensive scoring off him, I think that's when you're going to see the best of Trae Young. Although his numbers, and by the way, his numbers are probably inflated like that because he's never had an all-star teammate where he's had to do so much, and I still think he'll be so much better if he's averaging 20, 13, and 5 rather than 25, 9, and you know what I mean. I think he's much more. I think he's much more efficient and better when he's more balanced stat sheet.
Lou, what do you think? What'd you give? You gave Phoenix,
Dallas,
Orlando, Dallas.
Portland, Phoenix.
Nobody
see
said
in Miami.
Wizards, which is
I can see in Miami.
What about the Clippers?
Who are we missing?
I mean, who would he replace?
Listen,
That's better.
I like those, and even if Washington is at play, that should be the first move that they make to rebuild something, right? Like this can't be the one move. This has to be the first move that they make to try to rebuild that franchise. But I like Portland. That sounds good to me. I like Orlando. That sounds like the best option to me. Orlando sounds like the best option. And like you guys said, when you get him around a Mose in a team that already has their own culture that Trae Young isn't building, you got to step in and you got to buy in to what's already being built. This is not your group. You're coming in to add value to a group like that. So I agree with Chandler on that notion. When you go to another franchise and they're already building culture and they're telling you, hey, this is how we operate around here and these are the things that we need for you to be successful for us and give you an opportunity to be yourself as well, that's going to be one of the best scenarios that Trae Young can possibly be in. So I love the idea of Orlando. I like the idea of putting him around young talent and out in Portland as well.
And thinking about Orlando, Jalen Suggs just signed a big deal. They have Anthony Black, who's kind of turned the corner as a franchise, as a
think it would be a
franchise
good move.
They have pieces outside.
I feel like you guys
Wagner
are excited about it.
and
I like
Paolo to make this happen.
I'm excited for him to get to a good situation.
You don't you just want him out of Atlanta?
Yeah, I've been calling this for a while, and like I said, I saw this situation brewing to the point where his name would then come with all this negativity. So I initially wanted him with the Spurs. Initially, before
But
the
then
De'Aaron
we've seen what's going on.
before the De'Aaron Fox
They're
trade.
pretty
But-
loaded
We're
at the
good.
guards.
We're good.
But yeah, obviously they're good. But
No room
I
at-
think surrounding him with good defenders takes his game to a whole nother
Hold
level.
on, somebody in the chat, Lisa just told this in my ear. Someone in the chat, and I need to know the age of this person because it's very important to the words I'm about to say, said that Trae Young is the greatest Hawk of all time. Excuse me? Have we forgotten young Mr. Wilkins?
Neek.
Hello. That's what I'm saying. The age of this person must be like
Also,
9.
me and Lou played for the Hawks.
And
I don't know, y'all.
I don't think
That's
you're in that conversation.
That is a real conversation.
He's a
to
two-time All-Star. He just can't be the
He's
greatest.
not
it.
greater than Dominique
Listen, I'm
Wilkins.
not.
My
listen,
Cardinals
He's not
legend
greater
of
than Joe
1990
Johnson.
I'm not saying one or the
disagrees.
other. What I'm just telling y'all is that it's a real conversation in the city. That's it. That's
It's a
all.
Are you for
conversation
real?
that
So
should
this
stop.
is real? This is a real thing?
Look, it ain't my
What was the one
conversation.
team where they had like
I'm
5 all? It
telling
was
you.
like Corver, Carroll, Teague, Millsap, and Horford. All of them.
I don't
four
think
of them
he's
made
greater than
All-Star.
Horford.
Oh, this could be a whole show. We should do a special. When he does get traded, we should do a special. Okay, I'm putting it on the board. No one's listening. It's fine. Let's move on.
By the way, Jalen Johnson might be his best teammate he's ever had, and he's there right now.
He's there right now, so it won't be for long. And he hasn't gotten to play the whole time either. We did have some games last night. We should probably get to some of that. Kevin Durant. I'm stealing this from the Rockets play-by-play. Biting the hand that last fed him last night. A 197 win for Houston with that right there. The game winner tells them to pack it up. It's awesome. I love he's being so vocal and fun. After the game, he had a little bit to say about his exit from the team.
But as a competitor, does it mean any more to you to be able to hit that one against your former guys?
Most definitely. You know what I'm saying? A place that I didn't want to leave, and my first time being, to sound, I don't want to sound too dramatic, but I will, to be kicked out of a place, you know what I'm saying? And felt like that, I've been scapegoated, you know what I'm saying, for the issues we had as a team last year. Yeah, it felt good to beat them and hit a game-winning shot.
Okay. Who's taking it away first? Because I
Pure
like
honesty.
Man,
Yeah,
it's always
that's-
fun to flex on the X.
100%.
You can't be
100%.
mad at that.
And there's no doubt, he said not to be dramatic, but I feel a certain type of way of how I exited this franchise, and I did not want to leave, and I feel like they blame
big.
me for a lot. And yeah, go hold this game winner and get up out of here.
It is a big deal to say I didn't want to leave because it's kind of a vulnerable moment of honesty, which not everybody ever really does. I think that's why I like the sound so much. I don't know, Lou. He didn't want to be dramatic. I thought it was.
But he said, I'm not going to be dramatic, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I like the drama. I like the honesty, and I like the fact that we're 20-something plus games into this season. Probably way more than that, and this is the first time this has been discussed. So. They asked him a question. He answered honestly, and he sent them home and he packed them up. I love everything about what I just saw coming from Kevin Durant. So for him to say he was scapegoated and basically kicked out of a place and being the reason for the issues that they had. You know, that comes with being one of the best players in the world, and especially if things don't work out, you're gonna get a lot of that blame, whether it's warranted or not. So for him to be able to beat them last night and get that off his chest, and post game get it off his chest, that's a 2-for-1 to me. That's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, there's game winners and there's game winners against your ex.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I think that was great.
Well, can I ask you this, Boogie? Because, you know, when we watch the leagues, right, there are certain players, Hall of Famers. Kevin Durant obviously falls in that category. And you like to think in a perfect world there's a certain amount of respect. And it is a business, so people are going to have to move and be traded and whatnot. But he really did make it sound like, hey, I wanted to be there and they threw me out because I was the excuse they were using. How can that even be handled better?
From whose standpoint?
From anyone. Because, I mean, the team looks crappy in this, and he feels hurt.
I mean, I think it's handled basically how business is handled. Business gets ugly sometimes, and that's just the truth in it. Somebody's feelings are going to be hurt at the end of the day, and you know, I don't really think it's a right answer to it. We would all like to be, you know, respected in any type of exit, you know, that we go through. But like I said, when it comes to business, it just gets ugly, and it's actually great to hear him say that I wanted to be there, because it was a lot of speculation around that. Like, was this coming from him? Was it coming from his group? Was it coming from the organization? So it's good to actually hear from the horse's mouth. And it makes you kind of look at that situation even more crazier now. Like, man, you had a Hall of Fame talent that wanted to be there. And, you know, straight from the horse's mouth, you basically ran him out of town. So it makes you kind of look at the Phoenix Suns a little differently.
Yeah, I think it's just like a level of communication. Like, that's all you want, especially if you're a guy like Kevin Durant, if you're a Hall of Fame player, you've earned that respect, you've earned that trust to at least have the decency to be honest and have that conversation. You never want to feel slighted. You never want to feel lied to, like what Chris Paul is going through. Like, no matter what happened there, you just want the upfront communication. So I think that is where the frustration comes from. He just said, and I believe him, like, he didn't want to leave here. They
say that.
And they struggled, and they weren't a great team there, which is shocking, but it's not like it wasn't a fit-wise basketball why they didn't want him. He's Kevin Durant. They could have made that work, but I think that's what it comes down to. That's how, in this business and free agency and the trade deadline, that's how things get a little murky when there's just no communication, there's no trust, and front offices just go rogue and do things that they told you they're not going to do. Like Blake Griffin, you said you're going to not ever, and then they trade him to Detroit, like in the middle, like it's just like you can't do things like that. It's bad business.
Lou, I want to end it on this, because obviously he's collected a few jerseys over the last several years. He is Kevin Durant, and so I'm wondering, last night being so fresh in our minds, it might kind of cheapen the answer, but is this the best fit? Like, are we seeing Houston as where he should be and how it's going to play out best?
Yeah, this works. And it works on both sides, actually. Phoenix is playing pretty good basketball. Houston is playing pretty good basketball. You know, so it wasn't as a messy of a breakup as you would expect. But last night was, like, again, that to be able to beat the team that told you to kick rocks and to send them home, that's one of the best feelings you can get. But this is the best that we've seen Kevin Durant in probably in the last 4 or 5 years. This is a great fit for him, and this works. And I look forward to seeing what they can actually put together and what they'll make of Kevin Durant being in Houston. But this absolutely works for him.
Yeah, no matter what happens, it's already a better fit than Brooklyn. It's already a better fit than Phoenix. Now, listen, to get championships and do what he did in Golden State, is that they got some work to do, but I've never seen him kind of rally like this around players. I've never seen him pump up a player like Sengun, talk the way he talks about Thompson. Like, he seems genuinely happy and energized and you know, determined to be that guy. And he's just older. I think with just maturity, like he's fitting in. Like,
we become more happy and content.
Exactly. Like, it's just a different place in his life where he truly just wants to win and play basketball and be happy. And it seems like he is in Houston.
I love it. I love this story. We are going to take a very quick break. On the other side, our good buddy, old pal, Sam AMICK, is back.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
What is going on? We've got Sam AMICK, senior writer for The Athletic. He's on. We love having him on. Lots of stories, lots of tales. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year.
Good. Oh, yes, that's right. Happy. This is the last, right? We're done after the day. We don't say happy.
Yeah, when do you stop saying it?
I haven't seen y'all.
We haven't seen it, but
late.
that's the rule. Once you see it, now we're good. We're good. I don't know if you heard a little bit of our conversation.
Hopefully not.
But no, not the break conversation, the other stuff. But Trae Young, like yesterday, the stories came out with the agents, so that seems like steps in that direction. And then you got Mark Stein with the Wizard stuff, which made it very specific as far as where he could go. What are you hearing? What are you feeling as far as a good spot, landing spot for him?
I mean, that's the issue, right? Is his market has been just absolutely battered and bruised the last couple of years. The optics of the Hawks playing well without him these past couple of weeks have made it even worse. You know, the Washington thing seems to me to be the only substantive spot right now. Like the idea of C.J. McCollum and maybe a Corey Kispert coming their way would, you know, C.J. is expiring, could give them another vet where they could compete and do some things this year. And then Corey's money is a few years out, but you know, less on the books. Everywhere else you go, I'm not hearing much. I mean, I tweeted about the Kings last night. They don't have interest. It was reported that Brooklyn and Houston don't have interest. You know, Portland's name gets thrown about. I don't see that. If we're being honest, guys, and you guys have all lived it, like this one's interesting because, yes, they're working with his agents to try to find a new spot, but they're kind of sugarcoating it a little bit in terms of like where the pressure is being applied here. This is the Hawks deciding, I think for the most part, to get off of Trae as opposed to, you know, the guy having the leverage and trying to get out of town.
Is this the lowest his value has been?
For sure, yeah. I mean, and I feel for him because he's done some things with that franchise. You know, it took him to the conference finals some years ago. The fit, obviously, right now is not great, and it's different. They had this vision where it was like if we surround him with defensive players, with the Dyson Daniels types, and you know, and Porzingis down low, that maybe this thing can work. And the truth is, they still haven't really seen it. Like Big Fella's been dealing with his illness for most of the year. Even admittedly on the media side, we've been framing it like, oh, they keep winning without Trae. Well, it's been more nuanced than that. You know what I mean? Like
usually
it's been, yeah, exactly. So like that part of it, but you know, all that matters right now is like the Hawks have bought into this idea. Like, yeah, I think it's time to get, you know, this guy out of the group and see if we can grow and not only kind of clean up the books, but have a different look on the floor.
That's humbling.
It's just crazy because I feel like we've been hearing this for years, and now the value is as low as possible, and now they're going to do it.
It's bad business.
Right.
Anyways,
Very bad business.
Tim, Giannis is obviously a name we keep hearing in trade talks as well, but now all of a sudden the Bucks have won 4 out of 5. Is this now a situation where we're starting to feel like he just stays with the Bucks after all this?
Yeah, we'll see. Actually, I talked to him the other day. He came through Sacramento. I'm going to see him tomorrow down in San Francisco. It's wild to me that, listen, everything that Shams has reported, I think, is real regarding, you know, the state of affairs within his camp. But there is this disconnect between the way the league is talking about Giannis and like when you get around the team and talk to him and talk to their group. Not to say, like, I think eventually he's going to be out of town. That's my opinion. I don't think it happens mid-season. And to talk to their group the other day, you know, I thought that even more so in terms of, like, it not happening anytime soon. You know, he even kind of, I told him we needed to catch up and mentioned all the different reports. And he says, oh, false narrative, you know, but I think part of it, too, is, and this is the stuff that he's not going to talk about, is he's smart enough to read the room and realize that there's just not a clear pathway to a situation that I think objectively would be better right now. Like the teams that, you know, New York in the offseason was obviously front and center, even though they've struggled recently. Like that's pretty messy to get to New York. And what does the roster look like if you do that in season? To this point, they haven't had interest in that. And that list just goes on and on of all these squads that are pretty tied up with their current group and trying to figure out what they're doing. And so I think that, if you're honest, that makes you go, all right, let me just settle in and try to make the best of a pretty tough situation.
Yeah. And Sam, and you said it, the Bucks, they definitely have to do something. And they're one of the few teams that you wrote about, but they're limited in assets. They're limited in options. What do you see out there realistically? Who's a player that they can entertain and look to go get?
I mean, they're so limited, Lou. Like it's going to be a Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma thing, most likely going out, which you got to obviously. I mean, Bobby's a hell of a player. You know, Kuz has struggled, but he's done some things. So right out the gate, you're kind of wondering, all right, how do you get above that threshold of, you know, getting something back that's better than what you're sending out? So, like we've written about Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, Michael Porter Jr., all the way down the line. Again, being around their group in person the other day, got a little more clarity, which was that yes, they're trying to get better. They're not right now banging the doors down to the degree that I think people thought they were to get a roster upgrade. They also are kind of, honing in on high character guys. I know that sounds like cliche, but that was one of the talking points in terms of, possible additions. But, John Horst, their GM, he's always aggressive, but every big move they've made has made it even tougher and tougher to do something of impact going forward. Like the Miles Turner thing, obviously, now you're paying Dame for 5 years, which is crazy. And so draft assets are minimal. Options are tough. So, I think they'll probably do something, but right now it's not clear what they're going to do.
It's crazy because they're 4 games out of the 6th seed. Like, it's
nuts.
It's insane.
Oh, he's not good enough.
And that helps them, right? Like,
yeah.
that helps. Like with Giannis, you can look like, all right, big fella. Like, I know we're 3 games under 500, but we're winning games. And one of the other talking points they keep sharing is like, and everybody's confident to some degree, but all right, you think that they're going to be scared of the Pistons in the first round if that's what they're looking at? I mean, they should be because Detroit's incredible, but like you have Giannis on your side, and so that right now is their best case scenario.
Yeah, that 8th seed's not the worst.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the East being as flat as it is.
Sam, the Anthony Davis rumors are heating up as of lately. Do you expect him to be traded by the deadline?
DeMarcus, I'm on the fence. The messaging there, the Mavs are 100% making it clear that they do not have to move him. They don't necessarily plan on moving him. There's a whole lot of he said going on in terms of, I mean, if we got to be real, it's lion season. Like, you talk to one person, they say the exact opposite of the other. Makes our job super fun, if I'm being honest with you. And like, so the Mavs are framing it like, oh, we're not even making outbound calls on AD. We're just taking calls. And then you talk to other teams like, man, they're shopping like crazy. So
that's
you've seen this movie before with Dallas.
They're just cozy in that 12 seed, huh?
That is.
You've seen this movie before.
100%.
Are they doing it in secrecy again?
Like,
not only that, Chandler, like, it's, first of all, the group dynamics, and I'm a sucker for always trying to report on, all right, what's happening behind the scenes. So you got Matt Riccardi and Michael Finley running the front office. That's fine. I get it. Patrick Dumont, the owner, he's going to have a voice. Is he making any phone calls? Mark Cuban's still involved. Your good friend. Mark is back in the mix. So, like, there's a little bit of that, like, all right, who's calling who? How is this stuff unfolding? The other X factor that you guys are well aware of is Rich Paul is looking at this, AD's agent, and saying, all right, we need an extension. That's not happening here. And so there is for sure, I think, pressure being applied from Rich's side. Like, it's time to find a better position for him.
I'm just going to sigh before I get to this next one. Jonathan Kuminga. This is like really bad deja vu every single day. We know what they went on a little run and they've struggled as of late. He continues to just be there. There was the day where he was going to play and then at the last second, nope, not playing.
Yeah.
What can we actually expect? When will this nightmare finally end?
I mean, I think, soon. But again, I was around about their group the other day, and to say that the temperature's hot is a bit of an understatement. They had Steph and Dre and Jimmy out in that game, and it was a great day for JK to go out there and showcase a little bit. And there's this idea that, like, all right, if you want out of town so bad, like, we do need you to kind of jump off the page a little bit at the right time for other teams. And that'll kind of juice conversations up and compel somebody to come a little bit harder for you trade-wise. And then he didn't play. He had the knee thing. Steve Kerr gets asked about it. When did he get hurt? He just said, before the game. Like, oh, interesting.
So not even trying anymore.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's...
Sam, can I just ask you the question? Steve Kerr does not like him? Like, is it just like a personality thing? Is it actually a basketball fit thing? Because I've seen him play in games where he's extremely productive. Like, does he just can't stand this kid or what? Like,
I think two things are true, Chandler? Like, he doesn't like the way he plays the game a lot of times, I think. But, yeah, I mean, listen, yes, you do hear consistently that there's just something there that where they rub each other the wrong way. I talked to Jonathan in the preseason a little bit about that dynamic. And I forget, I don't think they shared this story with you guys, but like I actually said to him, oh, your coach was in there raving about you pregame in the press conference. And this is back when things were like cooled down a little bit. And I was just trying to like, I don't know, be conversational and kind of melt the ice a little bit. And he just kind of shook his head like, oh, that's great. Like he wasn't feeling it.
He doesn't even want to compliment at this point.
Because he doesn't believe it.
But
like,
Sam,
whatever.
aren't they just devaluing him by not playing him at the end of the day? Like, or do teams know what he's capable of?
Yes, they're devaluing. There's no way you can say they're not. I don't know. I mean, this is just my own 2 cents. Like, there's this crazy vibe with the Warriors right now that I get, and it's unique. When you accomplish as much as they did, I'm curious to see where this all goes from the standpoint of, like, if you had never accomplished anything, then you're going to always try to win around the margins all the time. If you are everybody from Steve, and Steph's obviously still balling out, but he was the head of that group, and Draymond. Like, these are the things that probably should be handled a little bit differently. But you got 4 rings. Yes, you're trying to push for more, but maybe you kind of forgot how to win on the margins a little bit. And right now they are. It's a shared blame thing, but they are obviously botching the Kuminga situation.
Sam, switching lanes here. The Lakers are currently 7-7 right now after starting off 15-4. Not really giving, contender as of right now. Do you expect them to shake it up at any point this season?
I mean, shake it up. I think they're looking for 3-and-D wings. They need shooting, even though they have some seemingly fantastic shooters on that team. They're not shooting at their level. Even Luka and Austin Reeves, who obviously is out. That's been an issue. I enjoyed your guys' conversation around, the defensive side and Dylan Brooks and the Suns, and yes, they need guys like that, and they're looking for guys like that, but they're in short supply. They cost a lot. You're not trying to give up your best draft picks at this point, and then you're trying to weigh long term versus short term, right? Like, because this whole thing with Luka is going to be, this is the beginning of a long stretch. So like the Austin Reeves part, he's all of a sudden emerged as this co-star and this guy that when LeBron is gone is going to be there. But I mean, their defense is terrible. So I don't know who that's going to be. Herb Jones, they would love to have him in a Laker jersey, not available. There's guys like that. Keon Ellis is very popular right now with the Kings. Do they maybe go ahead and do something there? So, we'll see who it's going to be, but 3-and-D is their focus.
Let me see if I'm doing this right. Because yesterday as a show, we entered the insiders world. It's kind of a big deal for us, like a promotion. So Matt Ishbia told us directly that Dylan Brooks cannot be moved. I think I nailed that.
He's untouchable.
But then again, we are in Lion season, as you said.
He's
so
untouchable.
That's weird.
Well, the spark from Boogie saying that he would trade Austin Reeves for Dylan Brooks tomorrow. I thought he was drinking.
But do we want that for Dylan Brooks, though?
Well, it's not happening because Ishbia said.
Oh, I'm sorry. If somebody says it, I guess.
No, he's telling the truth on Twitter.
I mean, Chandler, again, going back to Mr. Cuban, it was Mark Cuban who said 3 weeks ago we're not trading AD publicly on the record. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at. I didn't know that was you guys, by the way. Nice little scoop getting Matt.
He responded to our post, and it was kind of hilarious, actually.
That is pretty good. Yeah, Matt's out there. He likes to be in the spotlight.
For real.
I don't see him doing it. Yes, he would fit great on the Lakers.
Would the Lakers do that?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Would they?
Not for Austin.
That's what I mean. There's no way.
Of course not.
No, they love Austin. And honestly, like Jeannie Buss is still the governor, until this changes. The plan was that the league wants, not to get in the weeds too much, but they want to know who the governor of each team is going to be in 5-year stints. And so the plan is Jeannie's still the governor of that team. And I bring that up because she's the captain of the Austin Reeves fan club, and Rob Pelinka is a huge fan as well. Now, listen, Mark Walter paid $10 billion. So if he, for the team, if he sees things differently, then who knows what happens down the road. But they, right now, all signs point to them finding a way to pay Austin that massive, amount that's coming his way this summer. But in a vacuum, like as far as just basketball and what the Lakers need, 100%, Dylan Brooks would be great. I mean, truthfully, Marcus Smart 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it's that type of guy, but he's obviously, you know, a little bit older now. They just don't have enough dogs. And then, you know, it's getting kind of chippy over there because obviously JJ has no filter. So he reminds them every single night that they have no dogs. Like, you know.
I mean, he's out there like, I wouldn't have played like this. Like,
He doesn't know what else to do.
Right.
It's amazing.
Sam, let's stay in LA. I want to ask you about the Clippers. They've won 7 out of 8, still in 11th place, but they're showing signs of life. They got to be buyers at the trade deadline, right? What are some options for them? What do you see fit for the Clippers coming up in this deadline?
Yeah, they're transitioning from like when their record was 6-21, whatever it was, that god awful record that was incredible. Their phones were ringing off the hook with everybody around the league assuming incorrectly that they were just going to have a fire sale and that everybody could come in and buy low. So first of all, like the wins have helped them a lot in that regard, where they now get, you know, more leverage where they can not only keep those teams at bay, but, you know, show them like, no, we haven't given up on this group. And to your point, Lou, like, yes, they would like to get better. So they're simultaneously, they'll listen to everything. You know, I don't see any, you know, Kawhi or James going anywhere. There was some interesting noise about James a little bit earlier in the season, with more so the question of like, was it so bad that James would want to relocate? But, you know, I talked to his side and they said they're standing firm and going forward. So they, you know, they are trying to get better. They have zero incentive to lose. They don't have their draft pick next year. Steve Ballmer doesn't. He's not wired that way. So, you know, yeah, they're going to keep pushing forward. But it's obviously been a brutal year until recently. I mean, last night I watched that Warriors game. I mean, they competed till the end. They finished it. You know, the Warriors needed that win badly, and the Clippers keep winning. So we'll see if they can keep it up.
Sam, before we let you go, I want to talk a little Pelicans real quick. Zion, he's been playing pretty well since coming back, but they're losing. They're dead last in the Western Conference. Seems like everyone wants Herb Jones. Everyone wants Trey Murphy. Like, are they going to be sellers at the dedeadline, or are they just going to stay put, I guess, and keep doing what they're doing?
You didn't sound
that one.
So, I mean, yeah, they're
Good Lord.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, that one I'm not clear on. They are like kind of putting up a good face saying no on Herb, no on Trey. Not completely no on Trey, but a pretty high price tag. Even Zion, you know, I can't remember a year where we got so many high-profile stars and players who you feel like might be available. Trey's in the news now. We got Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball, all the way down the line. And like Zion, to me, should be at the top of the list of like the Pelicans should be really open to listening to move him. And I do think in the right situation, he could be a difference maker. But that's not really loud at this point. It's a little bit quiet and a possibility, I think. But Joe Dumars went in there and on the Zion front, he told teams that he wanted to really, really get a look at him. And I don't know how long that look needs to be before he makes up his mind. But if I got to handicap it right now, like probably not before the deadline. But, you know, we'll see if that changes.
Sam, people want to know if you're related to Steve Nash. That's a hard-hitting question.
I don't know. Just wish we had the same bank account. That's, you know.
Don't we all? Yeah, no, that's being chatted out there. I was wondering. I was like, oh, I wonder if you've heard that. As always.
I am not.
By the way, all of the. I feel like we covered all of the teams.
Well, he's got all the teams.
Well done,
He is the plug.
Yeah, we will talk soon.
Appreciate you guys.
We appreciate
All right,
you.
Sam.
Appreciate you, Sam.
You got it.
Happy New Year, Sam.
Run it up, then run it back.
I don't know if y'all saw this game last night. Knicks Pistons. Weird. The Pistons dismantled the number 2 team in the East. They beat them by, let me do the math. Oh my God, 31 points. That's out of control. Kate Cunningham with 29. Jalen Brunson had 25. 0 assists, 6
Big guard.
It's an odd one. Ivy with 16 off the bench. But that's not what we talk about, right? So the Knicks lost 4 straight. The bigger news of all of that is I think 7 or 8 months after Tom Thibodeau was fired by the New York Knicks, the owner, James Dolan, finally went out and said some words out loud. He was on New York radio yesterday, and he said, which is a weird timing, by the way, he believes the Knicks can win a title with that group, so no giant changes are to be expected. And then, hours later, they go out, and that game happens. So, Boogie, I'll start with you. Do you agree? Can the Knicks win as constructed, or do they have to make a change?
I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
I mean,
Knicks hater.
you know, I'm the official Knicks hater.
You really are.
You finally took them last night, and they got
That's what I'm saying.
absolutely
so
mopped.
One of the biggest things about, the season is obviously consistency. I think they've been a consistent team as of all the way up until recently. I don't know. One day this team looks like they could be the top in the East, and the next day it looks like they take, 2 steps back. I'm gonna have to say no. I don't think this group can win a championship. I think they'll be a really, really good, competitive team regular season.
Well, what would they need in let's say no rules, right? Who would you put?
I think they need one more go-to guy.
Okay.
To take some pressure off Brunson. I think a lot of pressure is on Brunson, every night to deliver it. It's almost like if he doesn't score 25 or 30, you know what I'm saying? They're not the best version of themselves. I think that's a lot of pressure for a smaller guard. I just think they need another piece in that starting lineup to kind of help them get over that hump, just to carry that scoring load. Obviously, I think they're a really, really good defensive team, but I just think they're one piece away, one piece.
I think they stay put, just given the landscape of the Eastern Conference, how the Pistons kind of came out of nowhere, the Cavs struggles early. It's wide open still. So I do feel like they think today, no matter what happened last night, they can still be the best team in the Eastern Conference, and they can come out of the Eastern Conference. Now you look at Karl-Anthony Towns, he's averaging 21 this year, 24 last year, 53 from the field last year, 47 this year. And there was obviously the comment that he made in training camp going, he's not sure of his role. And it was like 2 days before the season started.
That was odd, yep.
Which we thought was weird. And I don't think there's a reason to panic. They're still 10 games over 500. They're still going to get home court in the Eastern Conference. They still have a little bit of everything. And they also have assets that I think would be attractive to other teams to go and maybe shop a little bit. But as a championship, I don't know. I think the championship's going to come out of the Western Conference this year, and I think that's pretty obvious. But I think they have enough here to compete. I think they have enough here to come out of the Eastern Conference still, although they just got absolutely smacked last night by Detroit.
I mean,
I don't know exactly what they're missing, because on paper they have a little bit of everything. They have versatile wings.
They need another scorer.
I thought Jordan Clarkson would kind of have more impact off the bench.
They're playing a lot of guys.
Kolek, they're playing a little deeper. Kolek's been kind of surprisingly nice. The kid Yubusele, he's not playing at all, and he was great this summer. So
he played the Spurs game.
They have enough here, I think. It's just I think Karl-Anthony Towns has got to get going. He's got to be that dominant force he once was.
Okay, so the standings, Lou, it's kind of fun. I mean, I know it's super early, but it's still fun to sort of watch the hopscotching. Here we go. They now fall. They are now below Boston.
Look at Boston.
No one. I don't care if you say you did, you're lying. Let's just go ahead and take a long look into the future. Tatum's coming back. So are we looking at a world where we're really going to have the Celtics atop the Eastern Conference after all of that drama?
Well, with all due respect, we got to respect who's there right now. Detroit is there, and they got a 3.5 game lead on that team. So we like where the Celtics are. We know what they're made of. We know what they're capable of, and we had our doubts when Jason Tatum went out. They've proven to us we're doing just fine, and let us get him back. We're gonna be back on top of the East like we've always been. Like we've been that team. And so if I'm New York and I'm looking around, I like where I stand, because at this point it looks like a 3-team race, right? Like you can throw Toronto in that mix, but to me it largely looks like it's going to be Detroit, the Celtics, and the Knicks. Those are going to be the 3 teams to duke it out to come out of the East. So if I'm the New York Knicks and I'm looking around, I'm gonna keep my group and I'm gonna stay still, but I'm also peeking at the way that Boston has been able to put themselves back into this conversation as well. And so now, we're looking at scheduling, we're looking at strategy and teams being strategic, because that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to those 3 teams. I don't know if the Celtics go and get Detroit, especially not the way that they just played last night. If Detroit keeps rolling how they played last night, they're the realistic team that's going to come out of the East. But Boston is a scary team to face, and they're gonna do a lot of damage if they can get Jason Tatum back in any capacity at some point in the season.
Love it. Yeah. Detroit or nothing. I love that so much. No, that you're good. You
on Detroit, yeah.
By the way, it's very vintage. I like the Detroit-Boston mix will be the battle.
It's just crazy what Detroit's doing, honestly. I said this, a couple weeks ago. I think it's the least talented team I've ever seen be a number 1 seed. So this far through the season. And Cade Cunningham, we were talking about it, said outside of SGA, I don't know another guard we would take over Cade. There's some really good ones.
I think they're the best.
And there's some good ones. But think about it. A 6'7", 6'8" point guard who averages 10 assists, who's one of the best closers, who defends. Like, it's ridiculous how big of a leap he's had. It's ridiculous how much success JB Bickerstaff. I mean, this guy's going to be unanimous runaway coach of the year at this point. Like the turnaround that he's made there. It's just insane. They're tough. They defend, and then they have a top 5, top 7 NBA player in Cade Cunningham. Like it's unbelievable.
It's a good spot.
And Jaden Ivey's starting to come back. You see, he had 16 last night. This was without Jalen Durant, and Tobias Harris has been banged up, so they're not even whole yet, and they're still so dominant.
That was crazy last night, Boogie. Anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I can't disagree with anything Chandler said. The head of the Snake is Cade Cunningham. He's making a real case for himself this season. The conversation was, it started off with who we thought was the best guard in the East. And, obviously Jalen Brunson is having an incredible year. But when you think about, the production on both sides of the floor and what's being brought to the game, you can't ignore what Cade Cunningham is doing. He's averaging close to 27 a game, almost 10 assists a game. He's rebounding the ball. He's defending on the other side of the floor. You can't ask for more. So outside of, Shea, this is the best guard in the league to me, and he's showing it every night.
He does everything these other guards do, but he's bigger and defends better.
My favorite part of last night was as they're going into the half, Jalen Brunson took a heave at the buzzer, and he blocked it at the half court. I just thought it was funny. I was like, all right, Cade Cunningham, I see you. Not playing around last night. We're going to take a quick break. Another game happened last night with an equally shocking result. We'll get to that one next.
Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back.
All right, we got 2 minutes to talk about whatever this was last night. The Thunder getting absolutely demolished, 124-97 by the Hornets. Brandon Miller with 28. Knippel, 23 points, 5 of 7 on threes.
Rookie of the year.
Mature. Okay?
Oh.
And SGA with 21. He was 7 of 21 from the field. But it's the Thunder falling to 6-6 over their last 12 that obviously is going to get a lot of attention today. Boogie, we all had them, they're going to break the record, whatever. And since then, things have sort of slowed down.
Confirmed they are not going to break the record.
They are confirmed. We're confirming it. Not happening. What do you think? What's going on?
I think they're bored, honestly.
Bored?
I think they're bored. I think this happens with really, really good teams. They're coming off a championship. They started the season incredibly hot. At some point in the season, everybody kind of lets off the gas a little bit. And I think this is their time as of right now. I do think they'll get back to, playing dominating basketball. Jalen Williams, to me, isn't playing his best, basketball as of right now, especially with coming off an injury. So I think he has a whole nother level that he has to get to. But it's no worry when it comes to this Thunder team. I think, like I said, they'll get back to dominating. But the point I do want to make, Knippel for Rookie of the Year.
There it is.
There we go.
Lou, let me ask you this real quick. A month ago, we said they're going to break the record, and we would take the Thunder over the field.
Yeah, 47.
Do you still think both of those, one of those, or neither of those are true?
I would still take the Thunder.
Over everyone else?
No, I'm not doing that.
I don't know if I would, Lou.
Well, I would never would.
We're talking about a 30-17. What are we talking?
They lost 7 games.
I'm taking the field.
No.
They're broken. Something happened.
Now we have trust issues with them.
They're still there.
I don't know. I think
So
the
what
field.
we always say, what have you done for me lately?
Are struggling. Something to look at. All of the Cup teams that participated in the Cup are having some
not.
issues.
They're still hungover.
One's not struggling. Whatever.
The race for Sace is still on? Race for Sace.
Yeah, they
All
did
right,
too.
We will be back tomorrow. Have a lovely Tuesday, y'all.
Run it back, yeah.